They're the best. They're just gonna make everybody happy. This chocolate chip cookie is especially great because it's a reduced calorie chocolate chip cookie. It's really such a simple switch to make, and these cookies are still amazing. So today I'm gonna show you how to make my recipe for Auntie's chocolate chip cookies, plus a really beautiful way to wrap them up and give them to your friends. First thing you're gonna do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and then we're gonna get started on our dry ingredients. Get out a large bowl and pour in some all-purpose flour. Sprinkle over a little bit of salt and then finish it off with your baking soda. Next up, in your stand mixer, you're gonna add softened butter, and it's really important to use softened butter so everything incorporates really perfectly. Then you're gonna pour over some vanilla, and lastly, crack an egg in there. And then it's time for my secret weapon to lighten these up, Truvia Baking Blend. Truvia Baking Blend is a combination of Truvia natural sweetener and a little bit of sugar. So it still has that perfectly sweet flavor you're looking for, but it's got 75% less calories than sugar alone. How great is that? And it's not just for baking. You can use it in sweet or savory applications or cocktails, my personal favorite. It's really great when you want to add a little bit of sweetness but save on your calories. So turn on your mixer and let it go until all of that is just nice and combined. Next up, we're gonna add our dry ingredients a little bit at a time just to make sure it incorporates perfectly evenly. Then you're gonna stir in the chocolate chips. I like to use semi-sweet chocolate chips in this one. They're my personal favorite, but you could easily use white chocolate or dark chocolate chips. Once your cookie dough is ready to go, we're just gonna scoop out tablespoon-sized portions onto a cookie sheet and just gently press down on the top of each cookie dough ball so you'll have perfectly shaped cookies. Make sure you leave plenty of room on the cookie sheet. I usually put about 12 on each sheet so they don't blend into each other while you're baking. Pop these into the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're perfectly golden on the outside and still moist and chewy on the inside. While it might be tempting to eat these right out of the oven, it's best to let them cool before you serve them or pack them up. So like I said, I'm serving these as a gift, and I like to present them in a really creative and beautiful way. So the first step of that is to find a super cute basket, and you can line it with fabric, a napkin, stuffing, whatever you want to put inside. Then you're gonna wrap up the cookies and place them in the basket. I like to make it really personal and add a handwritten note. So now we're just gonna wrap the basket up. I like to use some clear cellophane and tie it off with some raffia. You can use some ribbon too, but I like the natural feel that the raffia gives it. I'm gonna tie on a flower or two from my garden just to make it a little bit more beautiful. You can use any greenery that's in your garden. And that's it. The finished product is really beautiful and super creative. Whoever you're giving these to is not only going to appreciate the fact that you made them chocolate chip cookies, but
can lead to the invasion of non-native species. Recently, conservationists have been studying the effects that management has on soil properties such as infiltration, and the results have been dramatic.
I'm Stan Bolts. I'm the State Range Management Specialist here in South Dakota with the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service. We've come out here today to look at a difference between these different sites of grassland. On the other side of the fence we have one of the common grazing systems that you see out here, basically what we call a continuous season-long grazing. What you have is a real uniform plant community, blue grama, Kentucky bluegrass, not a whole lot of diversity. And as you can see on the west side of the fence here, we have a very high diverse plant community, very productive. We've got big blue stem, western wheatgrass, and a lot of forbs coming in as well. So the diversity on the west side of the fence is much higher, as well as the productivity and the vigor, the health and vigor of the plants are much higher as well.
Told and why people see what they expect to see. So there were a whole bunch of them. Barnum statements, multiple endpoints, one-sided events, the confirmation bias, and the list goes on. This week we're going to turn our attention to health claims specifically. So again, last week we saw somebody who claims to be able to heal people through touch and put that prayer energy into physical batteries. We also saw a chiropractor who claimed to be able to heal a whole range of ailments just by tweaking a little nerve in the back of your spine. And we could, again, spend episode after episode, week after week, going through and debunking each of these claims. acupuncture, homeopathy, chiropractic, detox diets, blood diet, any diet that you can imagine is usually a kind of...
Magnet therapy.
Magnet therapy is another
right,
one.
there's a
But
bunch.
yeah, the list goes on, right? But we're more interested in why people believe these things, not just debunking a lot of the stuff that's out there.
That's right. Last week we also talked about, well, throughout the course, I suppose, we've been talking about the power of expectation, how what we see, hear, and